African American? What if I told you we're not from Africa nor America?
I don't really know that.
So why do we call ourselves African American, sister?
So you tell me why do it?
Give me Psalms 49:11. Because Africa comes from a white man, Leo Scipio Africanus. He conquered our brother Hannibal in the Second Punic Wars. Okay, America comes from Leo Amerigo Vespucci. So once he conquered this land, because his land was originally named Arsareth. So when they came over, Arsareth. Right. So that's what this landmass was named before Amerigo Vespucci came over here and took it over. But let's see it in the Bible. Read that for me.
The book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
Read on.
And their dwelling places to all generations.
So this is talking about the so-called white man. Let me explain how, because when they build these neighborhoods, do they expect them to be torn down? When they build up wealth and trust for their children, do they expect it to just diminish? When Walton built Walmart, did he expect it to go anywhere else when he built it? He expected it to go down to his children, right? Read on.
They called their lands after their own names.
So when I told you Amerigo Vespucci took over this land and named it America, what did he do?
They called their lands after their own names.
When Scipio Leo Africanus took over Africa and named it over Ham, that's the original name of that land, Ham, and named it Africa, what did he do?
They named their lands after their own names.
So when I tell you you're not African American, sister, that's what I'm saying. That's naming yourself after two white men. Because we not Africans either. Do you believe that?
Let's go.
Okay. So give me Exodus 1 and 13. No, give me Exodus 1 and 13. Yeah. Because did you know that the Africans had us in bondage also? Because the myth is that they tell us that Africans sold Africans. But we're not Africans, sis. Africans don't move like us. They ain't got the swag like us. They don't dress like us. They don't like take showers. They don't put on lotion.
They don't like us.
So what did you say? They don't even like us. So how will we be the same nation of people if they don't even like us? They don't deal with us. 1 and 13. Yeah, give me that. You're at 10 right now. 13. But yeah, I gotta let you know that we was in bondage to them first. So we didn't sell ourselves. The Africans sold us because we was in Israel. That's our homeland. We ran down into the west coast of Africa because we was fleeing Roman persecution. We didn't want the Romans to come in there and wipe us out. So we was running from persecution. That's how we ended up in Africa. Then the Africans rounded us up and sold us to the so-called white man. Read that for me, y'all.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 13.
Started at 11 for me. I apologize.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
Okay, do you know anything about the book of Exodus, sister? You know, this was our Exodus out of Egypt. Because you know, the Israelites, right? They was in bondage in Egypt, right? We are those people. So when it says we are under the Pharaoh, that's talking about us. When the Bible's talking about Israel, that's talking about us. When the Bible's talking about Judah, it's talking about you.
So Rams of the Grave, they was black.
Well, yes. But those are Africans. You get what I'm saying? We're not Kemet. Kemet is telling you used to be kings in Egypt. And no, we was in bondage in Egypt. We was the Egyptian slaves at that time. Let me go. Read on. It's funny you mentioned Ramses. I'm going to tell you something what we did for him. Read on.
They set over them taskmasters.
Ramses, those kings of Egypt, those people that they had over us, just taskmasters telling them like your boss.
Yeah.
Read.
To afflict them.
To do what?
To afflict them.
Read on.
With their burdens.
With their what?
With their burdens.
Let's see what some of them burdens was. We don't.
And they built the Pharaoh's treasured cities.
We did what for the Pharaoh?
Built the Pharaoh's treasured cities.
So all them temples over there, all of them statues, and the big old statues of the emperors and of the kings, we built those. We don't.
Phantom of Ramses. But the more they afflicted them,
right, the
more they multiplied and grew.
We don't die. We what? Because every time they tried to get rid of us, they was doing crazy things to get rid of us. We don't. I'm gonna show you one of them in a minute. We don't.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
They was grieving because they was trying to figure out how do we get rid of them. They wanted us to serve as a servitude, but they was trying to kill our seed. Read this next verse and we're going to jump to something else. Read on.
Verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to
serve. Start from the beginning now.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 13. And the Egyptians,
that's not us, sis. They, read on,
made the children of Israel.
That's us, read.
to serve with rigor.
Hard bondage. They made us serve with hard bondage. So them Africans, that's why they don't like us. They call us katas. You know what that means? Cotton pickers. Because they know exactly who. Jump down to 1 and 22 real quick. I think that's what I want.
The book of...
Yeah. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 22. And Pharaoh changed his people, changed all his people,
right,
saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river.
Shall do what?
Cast into the river.
So every son that we was bearing in that land of Egypt, they was casting into the river so he can drown. They was trying to get rid of our seed forever. So this is what they do. This is what they've been doing for the ages. Go to Deuteronomy 28:68. This is what they do, sis. They get rid of the man so that our seed cannot continue. Because if your dad is not black, then you are not black. Because according to the Bible, the seed comes from your father. Okay, the mom just holds the baby, but the seed comes from the father. So what they was doing was getting rid of the fathers and impregnating our women so their seed can continue forever. So that's how we've been getting intermingled with the multitude of these other nations, which God tells us not to do. But did you know we came over here on slavery, on slave ships, right? Did you know that was in the Bible? Read that for me, y'all.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Okay, it says we're going to bring us again into Egypt again with ships. Now, what was going on in Egypt that I just explained to you? Was we not in bondage?
Right.
Okay, so Egypt is a Greek word, Egyptos, which just means bondage. So he says, I'm going to bring you into the land of Egypt again with ships. I'm going to bring you into bondage again with ships. Because we're in the book of Deuteronomy. So that means we have escaped bondage already once. So he said, I'm going to put you back in bondage again with ships. Did we not come over here in America with ships?
Right.
Read on out.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
By the way Moses spoken unto the children of Israel that is going to happen, it's going to happen. Because did we not come over here on slave ships? Read on.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
He said we wasn't going to see our homeland again, sister. What is your homeland? I done told you you're not African. I done told you don't know what it is, do you?
No.
You are from Jerusalem, sis. The Holy Land, Israel. That's where the Garden of Eden is from. That's where Adam and Eve, that's where all of this has begun. From the dust of the ground, we started in Israel, sister. Okay. So that's why when I say the Bible says Israel, we are Israelites.
Okay.
We don't.
And there ye shall be sold.
What happened to us?
And there ye shall be sold.
What happened to us when we got off them ships, sister? Read on.
Unto your enemies.
Now, who was we sold unto?
White man.
We were sold unto who?
White man.
We were sold unto the so-called white man. What did the Bible call the white man?
Unto your enemies.
Unto our what?
Unto your enemies.
Because do you believe that the so-called white man is your enemy? No. Let me explain this to you. Okay, so it says, once we got off them slave ships, we're going to be sold into our enemies. Those are our enemies. What is your friend gonna sell you into bondage with no pay, making sure your back get beat in, you working from sun up to sundown, right? That doesn't make any. That's why they are enemy. Guess what? You're doing the same thing today. Give me 48 real quick, cause you got a job, sister, right? You got to put in your 40 hours, don't you? You get paid a certain amount of money for how much you work, right? Okay, so who your boss? Who own the company that you work at? Who owns that building that you're working at? So the same thing, he owned that plantation, he owned that house, he owned them crops that y'all was building. All the work you're doing, he's reaping the benefits. Read that for me, y'all.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48.
Read it.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
It says, therefore, give me 15 real quick. Let me give it okay, so it says, therefore, since we did not keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, we were going to be put into bondage. Okay, so you have children, right? Okay, when they get in trouble, you get on them, don't you? You make sure they doing what they're supposed to do when you tell them to do it. Am I right? So we're God's children. So we must follow what God is asking us to do, or he's going to punish us. This is a punishment that only God can put on people. This is a spiritual punishment. It gets to the point to where you didn't know that you was a Hebrew Israelite. You thought you was a black woman. You thought you was an African American woman. That's punishment, sister. That he will make you forget who you were from the beginning. Read that for me, y'all.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Read it.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If you will not hearken, which the root word of hearken is to hear. So if you don't want to listen to the voice of the Lord, which is this Bible, because this is the only words of God that we have. This is our history book. This is our script.
Right.
This is a movie that the Most High has already made. He already know the end from the beginning.
Right.
So I'm just trying to come wake you up to who you are, so we can start walking this walk together. We don't.
To observe, to do all his commandments.
To obey and to put in action all his commandments, sister. Because how many commandments were you taught?
I'm not 10.
You was taught 10. I got one question for you. How many of those commandments do you keep?
I'm not trying.
Come on, sister, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, so you know that you were taught 10 commandments. Why do they not stress in your churches that you must keep those commandments? What they tell you? They tell you the law is done away with. They tell you do whatever you want. Just pray to God and he'll make sure everything is taken care of and you're going to be fine. You're going to make it to the kingdom of heaven. That's not thus says the Lord. Because you get in this Bible, prophets was cutting people's heads off. The judges and the officers was putting people to death. If they were serving other gods, they was getting put to death. So God is not coming to play games with our people. So if you don't know these commandments, you're not going to make it in, sister. We don't.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses, one of them curses I taught you was that we came over on slave ships. That's a curse. Being sold to our enemy, that's a curse. Having to serve your so-called enemy when you go to work, when you need water, when you need food, when you need clothes, that's a curse. We don't. Curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So these curses are going to come upon us and overtake us. Give me 48 real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
So therefore, since we don't want to keep those commandments, we don't.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
In what?
In hunger.
Where do you get your food from, sister?
The store?
What grocery store? Just tell me any grocery store.
Walmart.
Who owns Walmart?
Walmart.
Why you got to go to your enemy to get food? If we was free, if we had our own thing, why we wasn't taking care of our own business? Why we got to go to our enemy? That's the curse. We don't.
And in thirst.
And in thirst, where you get your water from, sister? We don't.
And in nakedness.
And in what?
And in nakedness.
You get your clothes, everything that you have on from your enemy. Doesn't that sound like a curse? So do you think you're free? You're free. You're a bond woman that has been sold unto this spiritual punishment that we have been put under because we're not keeping the commandments. I got some commandments for you, sister. Did you know it was a commandment for women not to wear pants? Crazy. Did your grandmother wear pants? What about your great-grandmother?
I don't know.
So what made you wear pants? What got you into even wearing pants? If you're the woman you follow with your grandmother or your mother, they didn't wear pants. What made you wear pants?
My mom, she wore pants.
Okay, your mom wore pants, but your grandmama didn't.
I always say her in dress.
Read that for me, y'all.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 5. The woman.
The what?
The woman
Read on.
shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Now read on.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Okay, so it says a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. What do you consider a woman's garment? Okay, so we was out here in dresses. Would you even answer the door?
Well, have you seen them rappers putting on dresses?
But we not the rappers, sister.
That's what I'm saying. You saying that right.
They're a bunch of homosexuals. Okay, so it says.
So you're saying the rapper, sister, but do you know the entertainment business is set up to keep y'all in sin?
Of course.
So let me ask you, do you go to church?
Yeah.
And what church do you go to? Don't worry about it. What day you go to church on?
On Sunday.
Where is that in the Bible say you should be worshiping him on Sunday?
Right.
So right now, do they teach you your nationality, who you are in the Bible that pertains to you? So if you're going to church, then what are you learning in the church?
Not the right thing, evidently.
So the thing is, sister, we out here teaching our people that we the Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
We are from. I'm from Judah. Most of the brothers from Judah. It's 12 tribes. God got a chosen people. Did you know that? Do you know He's only the God of the Israelites? Okay, then what? Let me ask you this. So tell me, what is your church teaching you and your children for salvation? So how is it that you continue to go if you're not learning nothing? So do you even know how to get to the kingdom? Give me that Matthew 19:16. See, sister, the thing is, how many commandments were you taught? So how many commandments did the soldier tell you? 613. See, when you go into your book of the Torah, those are where you get your laws from. Your moral law, your civil law, your ceremonial law, your dietary law. And Christ only came here and did away with the sacrificial law.
That's right.
So we're still abiding up under the laws. That's why they won't teach us who we are. Because if you taught us who we were, then we would change.
That's right.
We would understand why we're on the bottom. You go to any other state or any other city, where's our people? And that's a curse, sister.
That's right.
Read that right quick.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do, that I may have eternal life?
So if you want eternal life, sister, this place is going to go up in 1 hour. Do you know this is Babylon the Great? You didn't know America was Babylon? Do you know what Babylon's even mean? It means confusion. That's why you see men's in dresses and women's in pants and legalizing gay marriages.
That's right.
That is an abomination to God.
That's right.
Read on.
And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good?
Christ saying, why you calling me good? Read.
There is none good but one.
He gave all praises to who? Read on.
That is God.
He gave all praises to his Father.
That's
like
right.
we're giving all praises to Christ. Did you know Christ was a so-called black man? Sister, everything is in the Bible,
That's
sister.
right.
That's why we are here. We are here to try to build y'all back to the marriage and give y'all the true understanding. Let me tell you something. 2/3 of the so-called black people here in America gonna die by thermonuclear fire.
That's right.
Don't be a part of their class. Be a part of the class of the 1/3. That's all he coming back here for. Read on.
But if thou wilt enter into life,
If you want to make it to the kingdom,
keep the commandments.
so how many commandments? Why the preacher? This is in Matthew. Why he not teaching you the commandments? Like a woman, that's basically being out of your drawers. That's showing all your good. Is that modest? 1 Timothy. Is that modest, sister? Read that right quick.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel,
In modest apparel, sister, with a dress coming all the way down to your ankles. Read on.
with shamefaced.
With shame face, to having done knowing that you are Israelite, you shouldn't. See, our sisters don't got shame face. They got wandering eyes. They can have a man and still be trying to catch another one. Read on.
And sobriety,
And sobriety, sober. Read on.
not with braided hair,
Not with all that stuff that you see our sisters out here. They look like whores right now. Read.
or gold, or pearls, or costly array.
All that Michael Kors and Dooney and Burke and stuff, all that stuff is worthless. Because it's not going to save you. Read on.
But which becometh women professing godliness.
Professing godliness, sister. That's keeping his commandments. Getting back with your nation. Because let me tell you something. This place ain't going to last long. I'm pretty sure you celebrated Thanksgiving, didn't you? Do you know that's the slaughter of the Native Americans? You're celebrating a bloodbath. You're going to celebrate Christmas, ain't you? Do you know God say don't do it? Jeremiah 10.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you,
See, he's only speaking to the Israelites, sister. Read on.
O house of Israel.
That's all. This is your history book here. It's got to be retaught. That's why he say come back as a little child. Because if you come back as the state you are, we can't help you because you're going to come back with every lie that you've been taught from your television. Read on.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen,
Don't learn Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day. All them are pagan holidays. Read on.
and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Don't be because they worship the sun, the moon, the stars, and all that stuff. Read.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
The heathens are the other nations that have got us in captivity. That's why we don't have business in our own neighborhoods. Read on.
For the customs of the people are vain.
See, their customs are vain, their traditions are vain. Read.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the works of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
What you deck your tree with? Give me John 10 and 1 over here. Read on.
They fasten it with nails,
So how you gonna make it stand upright? But read on.
with hammers,
Read.
that it move not.
So they don't want that tree to move. Read.
They are upright as the palm tree.
Now we down the so-called customs. See, because as it falls down from the Egypt, from Babylonian customs, it just changed. Everything evolves into new practice. Read this right quick, John 10 and 1.
The book of John, chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he hath entered not by the door.
He that don't enter by your door, read.
The sheepfold.
Give me that John 10 and 1. You're not reading it right. John 10 and 1.
The sheepfold.
The book of John, chapter 10 and verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold,
read on,
but climbeth up some other way.
How do they portray him coming into your house? Read on.
But climbeth up some other way. The same is a thief.
What is Santa Claus?
A thief.
What did he do, rob them on December 25th?
A thief.
What do they do with their money to go get these children Christmas presents?
A thief.
Read on.
And a robber.
That's what Christmas is all about, keeping y'all in a low estate. See, did you learn that in your church? Pastor, we're in the New Testament when we bring that out. Why pastor won't bring none of this stuff out?
That's right.
Because your pastor don't know the Bible. Let me ask you this. Do your pastor got a bald head? Do he got a beard? Give Leviticus.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 21 and verse 5.
Read on.
They shall not make baldness upon their head.
No, you shouldn't be like Michael Jordan. Read on.
Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
So if this on the 10 Commandments, that's 11 and 12, ain't it? You see where I'm going, sister? You've been lied to.
That's right.
Everything you know is a lie. We the only one out here with the truth.
That's right.
And the thing is, where are we coming from? Out the same Bible that you have.
I'm gonna say I need to go get another Bible.
No, you have never been taught your Bible.
That's right.
He's only coming back here for the Israelites. John 15 and 24. See, it's not. I mean, Matthew 15, 20. It's the thing is, sister. He's the God of the Israelites, not the God of the whole world.
That's right.
That world was only Israelites because there's 12 tribes. Read on.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said,
Christ out his own mouth, read.
I am not sent.
He said he's not sent, read.
But unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's it, sister. Give me Jeremiah 15 and 16, I think.
So when the priests preach, how they override all this?
Because they've been taught Catholicism. They've been taught. See, they go to some school, and the white man has taught them what they should teach. See, the Most High deals us with the spirit.
That's right.
Not trying to go into them schools. We don't deal with Christianity. Christianity is the Antichrist.
That's right.
It's set up to keep the nation in darkness. Read that right quick.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 17. Israel is a scattered sheep.
So it's saying the same thing. That's who the sheep is. You precept your Bible. We are the men of the Most High, sister. We are here giving the medicine. That's totally up to y'all to take it. You can keep going to that church on Sunday. All you worshiping is the sun worship.
That's right.
See, the day is the seventh day. This is God's high holy day.
That's right.
This is why you have to, y'all gonna have to change, sister. Let me tell you something. It might be my last time seeing you. Because next time I see you, you might be in that judgment seat. And when he's judging, he's going to be judging you by what? The book.
That's right.
If your life is not in line with this, because this is why, give me Colossians 2 and 8. This is why the pastors don't teach it. Ask them about the Hebrew Israelites. He gonna frown. He gonna. They know about us out here, sister, because we're setting these churches down because the churches are the ones keeping us in bondage. Why you think you got so many in our neighborhoods? Why we got the worst neighborhoods?
Exactly.
Read that right quick, God.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you.
See, you've been spoiled with lies, man. The same tradition. They're teaching the same doctrine that they used to beat our backs in slavery. Read.
Through philosophy.
For philosophies, what the so-called white man has, his policies, his 501c3 program churches. Read.
And vain deceit.
Vain deceits, lies. Read.
After the tradition of men.
Tradition of the so-called white man. Read.
After the rudiments of the world.
After the rudiments of this world. Read.
And not after Christ.
It's not after Christ, sister. You've been taught lies every day.
That's right.
Give me 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. See, the thing is, sister, we here to give you the medicine. See, what we do, pastor come up here, he gonna do a good talk game with you. We're gonna let the Most High talk to you. Read that up.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4 and verse 3. But if our gospel be hid,
see, why the gospel hid? That's the good news. Read.
It is hid to them that are lost.
That are lost in Christianity. Read on.
In whom the God of this world.
The God of this world who y'all worshiping, it ain't no devil under the ground with a little tail with horns on his head. The devil, it's a nation of people.
That's right.
The so-called white man.
That's right.
See, because when you look at them on your TV, they not white, they're red.
That's right.
What we call them down here, rednecks, don't we? So we understand the truth. Read on.
Hath blinded the minds of them.
How do you think he blind? Because he set up these churches through these black pastors, and he takes care of them under their 501c3 program. Read on.
Which believe not.
See, they don't believe. Y'all won't believe. Read on.
Lest the light of the glory gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves.
We don't preach ourselves, Sister Reed.
But Christ Jesus the Lord.
The so-called black Messiah.
That's
Christ
right.
is a so-called black man.
That's right.
Why do you think they got all these white images of Christ? See, they never teach our children. That's why they set up all these wicked pagan holidays. Read on.
And ourselves your servants for Jesus' sake.
We are his servants. While we out here today, we out here to bid y'all to the marriage, sister. We got numbers on that flyer, sister. You can call the school, sister. We got sisters in the school. We showing our people. Let me tell you something. Do you know all your foods got poison in them? Most of them got lead in them. They systematically killing us.
Exactly.
The cigarettes, they systematically killing you because it's got all kind of stuff, pesticide that they kill bugs with in there. Come learn the truth, sister. You got some reading.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread.
We eating defiled food right now. Read.
Among the Gentiles.
Gentiles is the other nation. You got two Gentiles, one for salvation and one for destruction. See, the other nations are set they for destruction because the other Gentiles are the northern kingdom.
That's right.
You in the Gentile state of mind now. What's your nationality? See, you don't know, Pastor. See, they won't teach none of this stuff, sister.
Glory, redemption!